Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa namine Ora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa namine Ora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthayate.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayana. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayana.
Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Bhakta-vrinda.
Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Bhakta-vrinda.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana.
Hari Bol Krishna
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana. Hari Bol Disciple. Everybody sing.
Gopala Govinda
Hari Bol Krishna. Hari Bol Govinda.
Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana.
Hari Bol Krishna
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana.
Hari Bol Krishna
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana.
Hari Bol Krishna
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Gauranga Jai Jai Gauranga. Hari Bol.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana.
Hari Bol Krishna
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana.
Hari Bol Krishna
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana. Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Jaya Jaya Goranga, Jaya Jaya Shri Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Shri Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Naminei Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestaya Te.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Naminei Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestaya Te.
So we'll have a recall of one of the narrative that's been given to us by Sukadev Goswami, and it's about the pastimes of Lord Krishna and how he protects his devotee. So we should be reminded that our awareness will have a great impact with what we're doing, and the consciousness that we do have, if it's not a transcendental, pure consciousness, meaning if it is material contamination, influenced by the material energy, the three modes of material nature, we will be having a lot of stumbling blocks in our focus and endeavor. So it's all about meditation, consciousness, and awareness. So this material world, if you study the science, because there's the study of spiritual science and the science about this material world. So if you look closely, it's stated in the Vedas that there are 8,400,000 species of life, beginning from the demigods to human beings, animal forms, insect form, trees, all living entities in different forms. So why did it occur and happen that the spirit soul who is aware, who is conscious, who is active, is now covered by the material energy? Just like what we have shown yesterday, the covering that covers us, it's made out of matter. So I'll tell you the story of my spiritual master. One day, he asked his disciple to visit a dying man. And this dying man is in the hospital, lying down on his deathbed. So the spiritual master asked his disciple, let's go visit this dying man. And he asked his disciple, bring your sister with us. Okay. So they went to the hospital and they're about to enter that door wherein the patient who is dying is lying down. And the spiritual master, our spiritual master said, when we enter the door, you watch the eyes of the dying man, where he will be staring, where his focus will be. So the young disciple, his sister is beautiful, very beautiful, okay? So they went inside, and immediately the dying man, the disciple is watching the eyes of that dying man. He's not staring through his eyes upon them, but rather to the form of this beautiful young sister. Ayan, kita. All of us, we want beauty, we're attracted to life. But the problem is that when it is perverted in ignorance, it's directed upon the body. So at the time of death, when you leave the body, or the person whom you love leaves the body, in your heart, in your meditation, in your awareness, you know that the person whom you're leaving, or the person who's leaving you, who's leaving you, who left the body is gone. Your meditation or focus will be upon what you experience in relating to that person. But now, you're not relating anymore to the body, but it's a remembrance of that person using the body in relationship with you. Now, that is the main reason that we should be understanding our true essence, life, awareness. Just like, do you notice that there's this competition, okay? It's centered around a quest, meaning an endeavor to achieve success, to be happy. And it's about what you do, what all of us have that is inherent in us. So they have this competition, who can sing nicely, who can act, who can do magic. And those individuals who are there judging who is the best and who's successful, they also have this, in a way, try to equate, or weigh, or scale your capacity to be successful. How good you are, how you express yourself through singing, through acting. And then the focus is about the label that is connected to this body. But the quest or the goal is to have an achievement so you can reap the result. $1 million, $5 million. And if you look closely and try to listen to all those individuals who are there, they use sound, material sound, and they try to manipulate material sound. And because the sound that comes out from their mouth is material, kaya the level of the sound vibration or the scale or the tone is an expression of the person wanting something. And mostly, if you look and see and hear about what they are singing, it's all about the experience of pain, the experience of lackingness, the experience of anxiety, that they were bullied, and they're not loved, and they have to move forward, to experience this foundation in their life that they can do something, and it's worthwhile. And those judges are there listening. And if you cannot perform nicely, out. And those individuals who can sing the same song every day, it's about the pain of relating to someone, giving your heart, your love, and experience wherein their heart got broken, shredded into pieces. And they express that through sound. How painful it is that the person I love does not love me. He went for another woman, or she went to the arms of another man, or she's not able to see the love I'm offering. So it's all about the anticipation, the experience of pain in your heart. Because of our awareness and meditation upon this miserable world. Then we begin to squeeze the pain. How painful it is that my heart has been crushed to smithereens, to pieces, shredded. And then you express that to all those individuals who are there, and they begin to, wow, he can identify, he can get through our heart that the song that he sings, the acting that he does, I feel it's crawling upon my skin, and we have become one, experiencing the pain that you are trying to portray, and I can relate to it. The pain in your heart, the fear, the anxiety. That's a program. But where will it lead us? Nobody did ever ask, why are we experiencing this? Why are we not having an eternal environment while we're in this body, wherein we want to cling to this love. What is death? What is life? Where can happiness be found? Where can I find it? That's not that subject matter. It's all about those people sitting down who were once, somebody comes that he's somebody who's a hobo, no house, and then who's really bullied, a nobody, nobody loves me, okay? And all I can do is cry. They have songs like that, okay? You left me brokenhearted. It's all about an experience of pain. Because the living entity, you, the soul, person, who experienced those through your senses, through your meditation, it has imbibed you, covered you, and you try to find happiness in that direction. Because you're looking for someone to love, someone to express your heart, your mind. So, that is material life. So, there's this story, as what we have discussed. The spiritual master look at the eyes of that person, okay, who's a dying man, and he stares at the beautiful lady. Okay. So, meaning the awareness is about searching for someone, beauty of this world. But because it's based upon this condition and a relative experience, because of the person and the mode of passion, he's seeing the beauty externally. So in Bhagavad Gita, the beginning of Bhagavad Gita teaches us, the Bhagavad Gita means this book, the Song of God, because when the Supreme Person, Krsna, speaks, it's like a melodious singing. That's a song of God. It's pure, transcendental. The first teaching that he taught Arjuna is about the nature of the soul. Because Arjuna is so afraid that if he fight and go into war, he will slay and he will inflict pain and kill those whom he loves. But because it's a war and most of those who are very close to him are on the other side. And he's afraid, if I fight there, I will be killing them. So, it's all about bodily identification. So the first teaching that we can understand from Bhagavad Gita is that the nature of the soul. The soul, you're everlasting, undying, primeval. You are the person, this body moves because you're the driver of the body, primeval. He does not die, he exists even at the death of the body. And it is shown scientifically. You were once in a baby body, a young boy's body, a young man's body, those bodies are gone, but still you exist. You can still remember when you were in the body of a 5-year-old boy, if you can remember. But because now, the influence of amnesia, ignorance, because our brain, our intelligence begin to degenerate, because we're not able to control our senses and use our body and engage in the mode activities in the mode of goodness. We are not able to have this sufficient intelligence and awareness. Okay, so it's this Lord Krsna tells Arjuna that the soul can never be killed by any weapon. You can never be killed because you're a different energy. You can never be burned. You can never be dissolved. You can never be withered by the wind. You will exist eternally. Because material energy and life exist eternally, and the world we're in is about this temporary illusion that we get so much attached. So the living entity who is traveling in this universe begins to direct his energy, his meditation, his focus, and awareness of trying to cling to this dead world. So there's this story about this great Vaishnava, he's a saintly king, Maharaj Pariksit. At the end of the war, after the war, all the enemies or the demons were killed in that battle. Those who are not godly. So, Maharaj Pariksit is the grandson of Arjuna. So at the end of the battle of Kurukshetra, there's this warrior Asvatthama who was left. He's still living. Okay, all his armies, his friends, his teacher are all gone. And what he did with this mystic power, he released a weapon. It's called Brahmastra. It's like missile. Okay, directed upon the womb of Uttara, where Maharaj Pariksit is staying, okay, the baby. So he wanted to destroy all the siblings of the Pandavas. But Lord Krsna came to help and protected Maharaj Pariksit from that deadly weapon that will destroy the womb of his mother. And Maharaj Pariksit became the emperor. So one day, Maharaj Pariksit was hunting, and then he's thirsty. He saw this hut, and he entered that hut. But there's this Brahmana who's sitting in meditation. He's in trance. And when Maharaj Pariksit entered, because he's the emperor, and the Brahmana in meditation did not notice him. So there's this dead snake, and he put that dead snake as a garland in anger because he was not accommodated by the Brahmana. But the problem is that the Brahmana, he has a child who is also a mystic yogi. Okay? So when he entered that hut, he saw his father in meditation with a garland of snake. And immediately he became angry. And he said, "Whoever did this to my father will die in 7 days." Okay. Because the curse of that Brahmana is very potent. If you're cursed by the Brahmana, then you have to atone. So what happened was Maharaj Pariksit knew what the curse is all about. In 7 days, he will leave the body. He will die. So he begins to focus upon what he should be doing. He prepared himself for that moment, that journey to leave the body. So he was advised by the saintly person to listen to Sukadev Goswami, and that is connected with the teaching of Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami. It is about hearing the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna. And the transcendental pastimes gives connection with what is transcendental and an experience of happiness in connection with the Supreme Person, who is the Supreme Enjoyer, who loves us eternally. It's about a relationship. So he was advised to listen to the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So back to the point I'm trying to tell you. When our spiritual master told his disciple, look at the eyes of that person, okay? He's looking at the beautiful lady, okay, the young sister. Okay. So if you look now, what we do with our bodies, our awareness is focused upon this world. And then, if we are not in contact, or we are not able to come in contact with this transcendental wisdom, and the search for happiness is directed upon this world, the longing for fulfillment, so what will happen? Your experience of pain and suffering, wherein you have misdirected your meditation, your focus, will be the experience you'll be experiencing. That's why look closely all about the songs that they sing. It's all about the pain that they experience. And they love it, Talaga, when they sing, and all the judges, I can identify with that, And everybody stands up. Wow, it's so painful. Okay. So that is the awareness we've been conditioned. Because our focus is about this world. So back to the point of that person staring at the beautiful sister. In the teachings of Lord Krishna, Arjuna was asking Lord Krishna about the state of consciousness wherein if we leave this body, where will we go? So Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, whatever state of mind one remembers at the time of death, when the time you're leaving the body, that state you will attain. So if you're not so practiced, you're not in practice with this process wherein your meditation is upon your relationship with the Supreme Person, to the science of devotional service, beginning with the purificatory process of hearing the holy names of God, remembering the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, then what will happen at the time of death, your mind will be you, the person who is in meditation, who is in focus about this world. It means where your heart is, that's where your mind will go. So if your attachment is upon this dead world, then definitely you will be focused in meditation with what you are very close and what's in your heart. So that person lying down on the deathbed, for so long his meditation is about this world, relationship with someone. And then when he saw the young sister, it's an attraction, the mode of passion. So, meaning, we should be aware that to relate to the Supreme Person, we must purify our consciousness, our heart, our life, to be pleasing to God. So if we want to relate to God, we must engage in a process that is pleasing to Him. Just like those people who tries to look for happiness to earn that prize, $1 million, $5 million, and to be applauded by the people, to be given contract to sing songs about this world and get paid, to have material wealth. So that is the meditation of someone who is under the influence of the mode of passion and the three modes of material nature. So there are 8,400,000 species of life. So whatever state of mind you remember at the time of death, that state you will attain. So is it clear sa inyo? Is it clear? So if you sit down, you meditate, and with the understanding that you have heard, you focus upon this reality, this wisdom, so you can direct your heart, your life, while you're in this body. So Maharaj Pariksit, he's an emperor. He can counteract that curse. He can counteract that with mantras, prayers from those Brahmanas who can counteract it. But he did not stop the curse or the snake that will kill his body at the time after 7 days. So he knows he has 7 days to live. As here, do we know how many days we'll be living in this body? But the mind, the living entity, is eternal. So if your meditation is upon this world and you will always be active by nature and you're directed upon this world, then there's a great possibility that you can be put in the different bodies. And that is a statement that is absolute, because at the time of death, you leave this body, where your heart is, that's where your mind will go. So the process we do follow is about transcendental science. The activities that everybody is engaging is about fruitive activities. Ano yung fruitive activities? It's about your desire to be happy, to be fulfilled, directed upon this world. Because you want to experience the fruits of whatever endeavor you do. You do something, you get paid. You get a prize. You want to taste the fruits. So a fruitive worker cannot be very focused or cannot achieve transcendental consciousness because you will be focusing upon the desire in your mind. And then what will happen? You will be motivated by a force for the longing to find satisfaction and fulfillment, but you'll never get it because it's directed upon a different energy and upon a source that is not unlimited. Is it clear? Understandable sa inyo? Kaya, the awareness that we should be having is about the purity of our heart and our consciousness. So we can really see what separates us from pleasing God. So when you become sensitive enough in when you chant the holy names, your heart softens. You experience this in your heart. You're not anymore influenced by the modes of material nature because you're able to see the desire in the mind. And you're able to hold your horses, your senses. Because your meditation now is focused upon the purificatory process of the source of happiness, Krishna. And the Supreme Person, the Spiritual Master, they're all person, individuals. So you begin to appreciate now to do the will of God. But if you are desire-driven, you will be driven by lust. And you will be forced by the desire in the mind for the fruits of what you are focusing to get. And in this case, as I have explained to you, the living entity who's on the deathbed, because his life is focused upon this world, when he saw that beautiful sister of the disciple, immediately his mind focused upon that form. Because it's natural for us to find happiness. That is the reason the nature of the soul is we're joyful. But the problem is, where can we find real happiness and joy? So in this arena wherein everybody is focused upon this world, so like this competition, who's the best singer, who's the best actor, it's all about the level of this body and a longing to be connected with a shelter, an environment of complete protection and happiness. So if you look closely to all the experience that they did experience, it's about the pain of this world. And that's what they glorify, the miseries of this world. So after understanding our true nature, Saint Prabhupada, the saintly person, tells us, this world is the planet of death. This body is the cause of suffering, birth, death, disease, and knowledge. As if, you're repeating everything every day. You're repeating that. You're repeating. It's a repetition of what we are discussing every day, year and years and years. You know. So in material life, what is sweet in the beginning becomes bitter in the end. But these individuals who experience the bitterness already in their heart, with their experience, they want to squeeze still the bitterness and the pain because of their focus upon this world, searching for someone to love. And that's an illusion because the person is not the body. And that person whom you're trying to find happiness is not the self-sufficient, lovable, eternal, supreme person who can give you, who can connect you with what you're longing for. So the holy names of God is God's compassion coming to us. So all what we have to do is chant the holy names, and He will be the one to take care of what we're longing for. And it is the process wherein our awareness becomes, we are put into this awareness of transcendental clarity that, yes, my attachment to this world brings me suffering. Because there are 8,400,000 species of life, and either in the mode of goodness, in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance. And if my meditation, my activities is about a meditation, and the effect will be the price or the effect that of my meditation will be my encumberment or my shackles. Okay, if you meditate upon this word, definitely you'll come back here. And it points also to the desire in the mind. So we must become liberated or free from desires. But it does not mean that we should just stay put, because by nature we'll be active. You'll be loving. But now it will be real love, because you are able to see the spirit soul, you're able to appreciate, and you experience respect for others, you experience compassion, and what you cling on and hold on is your relationship in action, trying to make it better every day, to be very close to pleasing God. So after a while, when chanting, you'll come to the point that you're always in meditation, that you can hear the Lord within the heart. Because in the beginning, if you cannot understand who you are, you cannot distinguish between your mind, the desire in the mind, and the Lord within the heart. So that's why, if we are fortunate, we come in contact with the spiritual master who can guide us, who tells us if it's the mind or the Word of God. So, the more you chant the holy names, the more you become purified, the more you're able to be sensitive to hear the Lord within the heart. So the meditation of Bhakti Yoga, what we're longing for, the sweetness, because everybody wants to love someone. But because the love is directed upon someone who's not self-sufficient, who's not God, and it's a misdirection upon this world, the form of this body. Okay? And it gives you pain, because the resultant will be an engagement. You become so engrossed in your meditation, you come back to this miserable world. So that's why Maharaj Pariksit, although an emperor, he knows he has 7 days to live in his body. He sat down and listened to Sukadev Goswami, who is the disciple of Narada Muni. Like our spiritual master, he sat for 7 days with aware, not drinking, not eating, simply in a world that is transcendental to this miserable world, and hearing, remembering, inquiring about the nature of the Supreme Person. So meaning his focus, his meditation upon what he's longing for, that has been connected when he came in contact with the representative of God, Sukadev Goswami. So when we come in contact with the spiritual master, it's non-different from coming in contact with God, because he can guide us, he can introduce us to God with a process that we can experience pure awareness. And that awareness is a meditation that we engage every day to do what is pleasing to God. You come to the point and praying, when will that day that I can be pleasing to Krishna, to the Supreme Person, that my life, my mind, everything is connected with that world that is transcendental. But it means you become very responsible with your work, with your activities, with your action. You become a teacher by example. You begin to control the tongue, that whatever comes out of your mouth will be beneficial for you. Because if you speak nonsense because of what you have heard before, then you're the first ones to hear it. That's why in this arena wherein there's a competition, it's a competition who can express the pain, the suffering, okay? How they have been bullied, how they lost their loved ones, and everybody who's number one who can express that in this sound that is pain, that is dead, okay? But an experience of the pain, and everybody's connected with that. And then when that person sings, everybody stands and applauds. Bravo, you're very good, okay? Idol ka namin. Okay? You see that? So that's how Maya is very strong. That's why when you chant the holy names, you're like someone who's been bitten by the snake of illusion. You're comatose. But with the mantra, this mantra, you become aware. Okay? You become aware. And then you experience now what you're longing for. Your heart's content. Your relationship in action, activities with reciprocation from you and God, because you're able to connect. Okay? So the meditation they do every day, and all of us here, is a connection about this world. But it can be transcendental. It can be our freedom because of the training. Just like if you want to, have you seen the astronauts before they go to the moon? Suppose, yeah, they go to the moon. They go into this severe, they persevere. They practice to be underwater with this gadget. So, because they know that if they are able to go out of the environment of planet Earth, there will be no gravity. Have you seen them inside the spaceship? They're floating. Okay? You pour water, you can see the water. Okay? But before you can go, you have to engage in so much sacrifice, perseverance, practice. Just like if you want to be a swimmer, you must learn how to swim. Okay? It's not just, very nice, they can float on the water. You ask yourself, can you be floating on the water and not sink and not die? You, the spirit soul, you are swimming in this ocean of death. Can you swim? We cannot swim, but someone comes, Krsna, picks us up. Will you open your heart, your mind? Or will you be in this arena wherein everybody's singing the song of death? And they try to experience in their heart, in meditation, wow, you're so lovely. Okay? You can sing the pain in your heart that you can communicate to me. And it's also heart-wrenching. It's a yes for me. So everybody, wow! The golden bell. Everybody shout, wow! I can stay here in this miserable world. I can compete with those individuals who are also experiencing the pain. So that is not the path we are following. The path we are following is the path of Krishna's love for us. That's why in Scripture, because we have found three foundations for what we are learning. Scriptures are the words coming from the saintly person, coming from God. Bhagavad Gita as it is, the Vedas. All the science that you are learning in university, it comes from the Vedas. But the summa total, or the conclusion of the Vedas, is about learning and understanding your relationship with God. If you study the Vedas in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, they go to Gurukula, they learn engineering, architecture, so many science. It's just part of the Vedas. It's about this material world. But there's this science wherein you can be free from this miserable world. So it's about hearing and relating to the will of God. So here, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna to give us clarity in a nutshell. That foundation should be our life, because that foundation or relationship with God is already concluded in all the scriptures. In Christian scripture, the scripture of the Muslims is all about surrender to God. So Lord Krishna tells us, engage your mind always in thinking of me, offer obeisances, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So that's why the first understanding of Aham Brahmasmi, my transcendental nature, I'm not this body, will be the first step in the right direction. Who am I? Then how can I achieve that goal? Just like if you want to be a swimmer, you must learn how to swim. Okay? So you must learn the science, how you relate to God, how you can focus your mind. So in this age, we're given this simple process, the chanting of the holy names. Mantra means mantra. The Maha Mantra. Mantra means to draw the mind away from matter. So, the difference between transcendental sound, in the beginning, when you're so much focused upon this word, you don't taste the chanting of the holy names. In the beginning, it's bitter because especially when you begin to hear about the truth. And then you have this empire built with your focus, with the fruit you want, by following your desire. Okay? Go for it, young lady. Go for it, young man. Look up and do what you want. Okay? That is your focus. And then you may have achieved it, you may not have achieved it, but when you're given this truth, there's this resistance because the mind is very powerful. The desire that even though even though in truth, in reality, all the desires in the mind are not eternal. And what you want will come to an end. That's why the science that is being taught to you is about the reality of those individuals who have succeeded by listening and following the saintly person. So Maharaj Pariksit, he knows he has 7 days to live. Okay? So he sat down and listened, and the more he listened, the more he became attached to that world that is transcendental. His heart, his mind has become so pure that although actually he's a saintly king, it is intensified. Material life, because somebody tells me, oh, you've been speaking there for 20 years, 40 years, it's the same repetitious teaching you're teaching. Okay? Material life, what you're doing or engaging in the beginning, it is very sweet. And it turns bitter in the end. Especially when you experience separation from your meditation, from the source of your happiness. So there's pain. Okay? There's anxiety that someday, even though you know you're gonna leave everything behind, you're still anxious because you don't have that wisdom. So what will happen when you chant the holy names? Just like Maharaj Pariksit, who followed the 9 process of devotional service, meaning your culture, your relationship with God. So your heart, your mind will be focused upon the eternal relationship. And with the guidance of Lord Krishna, immediately you have this contentment of the heart. In the beginning, it's hard because the senses are very powerful. The horses are running into different direction. And your meditation is about this world. And then you listen about this truth. Wow, you're so much immersed and you cannot get out. But now there is a process of purification that you can purify your mind, you can purify your heart, and then be directed and be very focused where you're longing for happiness. So yun yung process. So the more you're attached to this world, the more you're always in, it's like wrestling with your mind, then you have a problem. Because the holy names will be the one to redirect the mind. So meaning, you're not really making progress in your spiritual life. You still struggle. Oh, Maya tukso, okay? But when you make progress, it's about the intensity of a relationship. And in your meditation, it's like, just say it, and I'll do it. And you're just praying, please let me know what you want. Guide me. And then you're given this guidance from within. You're able to see the truth. You're able to see the person. You're able to see the material energy. You're able to see Krishna. So it means Krishna is revealing himself to you. Because you have followed the process and you have received the blessing and the mercy of God. The mercy of our spiritual master is unconditional. He goes around and canvas. Just like Narada Muni. He just canvas anyone who would want to follow this path. He does not force them. He just simply tells them the truth. And then if you're Intelligent, yeah. I've been here for so long. And what do I have? What do you really have? Do you have something? What are you clinging on? But the problem is what you were given, the meditation, is about the focus upon this control, this field of activity. This body is like a field of activity. And the activities you engage in are directed to the senses. So it's not an easy job to become a yogi, to become a devotee of God. Because you have to make a choice between doing your will and following God's will. Your prayer, the devotee's prayer is, when will that day when my life is simply doing your will? Because I know I can embrace you with my heart, with my love. And you chant more. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And Krishna reveals himself to you. Because what you hear purifies your heart. And what is material life all about? It is a contamination wherein your heart, the shelter wherein you can embrace Krishna, has been the seat of envy, greed, and lust. That's why you're always agitated in this world. Just like this dying man staring at the beautiful form of this young girl. Look at Maharaj Pariksit. He sat down. He's an emperor. He left his kingdom, all the queens, all the amenities. An emperor, all the kings from different kingdoms go to the emperor and offer respect and offer whatever they have. And now he's sitting there in front of the saintly person, the devotee of God, Sukadev Goswami, who is the disciple of Narada Muni. And if you look closely, what do they have? Sukadev Goswami is just sitting down, 14 years old. His body is 14 years old, and he has no clothes. Okay? When there's the story wherein Sukadev Goswami was walking, and all the girls saw him. The girls saw him because of his purity. They never experienced this malice. Okay? They were baiting, and then Sukadev Goswami was just walking there. But for them, there's no physical attraction. But when someone came, they covered their bodies. So that is when we have become so much focused in our love for the Supreme Person that we're experiencing this shelter. And that is achievable. Because that is the teachings of the saintly person, that is the desire of the Son of God. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So this body is also like a planet. So we should take care of our heart. Instead of lust, anger, and greed sitting in our heart, we should chant and meditate upon the transcendental holy names of God and pray, my dear Lord, save me by thy name. I will sing and praise your name. And it's now the shelter of our heart. Because our meditation will not be upon this world. We will become free from this lordship mentality. Lordship mentality is when we try to manipulate material energy and try to find fulfillment and control. And material contamination is about trying to play Lord. Love me, I can protect you. Serve me, I can protect you. I'll give you this, give me that. Okay? Because we're not self-sufficient. So everything is a perverted relationship. That's why what is sweet in the beginning, it turns bitter in the end. So that's why even married life, you get attracted to a young, beautiful form of that lady. Then after a while, because she's not self-sufficient, she cannot give you what you're longing for. And she also cannot find satisfaction from you. So you end up bitter with one another. Is it clear? So you look around. Two avenues. Avenue means daan. This path, the singing, the meditation is about the experience of pain and suffering. And the success will be someone who really can squeeze and cry tears of blood with the heart-wrenching experience that their heart has been shredded. Okay? The other avenue is different. It is the sweetness of the living entity, you, not touched by this world. That is a transcendental word of the pure devotee of God. So the spiritual master wants us to become pure devotees of God. He wants us to succeed. So it's not a competition with one another. The other side is about a competition. Who can squeeze more blood from the pain that they experience? And the judges are sitting there. Okay? Who judge? Okay? You got it made, man. You're bleeding to death. And you can express it. Yeah. Through the sound that breaks our heart. But, so, material life, what is sweet in the beginning becomes bitter in the end. Spiritual life, what is bitter in the beginning becomes sweet. Because you're now in a world that is not touched by this miserable, heart-wrenching, bleeding experience. You have life. So that is the reason we have this scripture wherein Lord Vyasadeva teaches us how to achieve success through the process of hearing and chanting by listening about the transcendental glories of God. That is the reason the devotee of God comes to this world. That is also the reason the Son of God comes here to bring us back. So the work should be ours to make a decision. So the more you make progress, the sweeter it becomes. Okay? And then you begin to long. Just say so and I'll do it. Material life is different. If you say something, you know what? You're going to get what I have. What do you really have? What shelter do you have? What wealth do you have? You got nothing. Kaya yung kanta nila, you got nothing, nothing without you. Totoo yun. But they excuse it. Nothing without you. Pero pag makasama, bunab. Hilahan ng buhok, murahan. And they love it, This is a miserable world. This is a crazy world. So don't be crazy. Haribol namaste.
Everybody sing and dance. Everybody sing and dance in life. Haribol, Krsna. Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Navine, Ora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Krishna. Haribol, Krsna.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Navine, Ora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Krishna.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Chaitanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Chaitanya.
Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shiva Sadeko Vrinda.
Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shiva Sadeko Vrinda.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana. Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Nagari, Ora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya Te.